Good girl. So today, we're gonna be working with Red here. The last few days, again, we've been doing just a lot of relationship building with her, trying to help build her confidence, playing with her a little bit. She's at a point now where we can start to kind of introduce some obedience commands. We've been introducing heel while on walks. We've been doing that. So today what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna start off by playing with her, getting her in the right emotional mindset for learning. Then we're gonna do a little bit of heel exercises out here, and then we're also gonna start teaching the place command to her. So we're gonna be doing all that. That's the place command is good for foundational obedience, and the heel command, we've just been doing it on walks. So now we're gonna start adding in the heel command with toy rewards rather than just on the walks. So let's get started. Come on. So one of the first things I want to do before I start teaching it or doing any obedience, I want to get the dog in that right mental mindset. You could see in those earlier videos with her where she didn't want to play. Really all we've been doing is getting her in the right mindset to play with us. So then we can open up her brain and get her learning. We want to do this at the start of every session to get her going. That way we can motivate her and get her in that right mindset to learn. Good girl, Red. Yeah. Good girl, look at you. Good girl. Good girl. Hey. Yes. Yeah. Now that she's in that right emotional mindset, now we can start overlaying and adding in some obedience. Good girl, Red. We're gonna do a little bit of heel command. Again, we've introduced it in our walks. This is the first time we're really gonna pair it to the play. Red, heel. She comes back in position. We use the leash to guide her. That heel position is gonna be on her side. Good girl. When she's in that position, I always tell clients, imagine there's an imaginary box right next to you. The dog goes in that box. You move, that box moves with you. Heel. All we're doing is we're keeping this leash loose, and we're using the leash to keep her in that box. If I stop, she stops. If I do a U-turn, she comes with. Good girl. Let's go kick. Good girl. If I speed up or slow down, she's to stay in that box. Good girl. When I'm satisfied, I give her the release word. Red, break, good girl. Woo. Girl. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Yeah. 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 Girl, Red. Good girl. Oh. Get. Woo, good girl. That's a good girl, Red. Ready? Come on. Yeah. Good girl, right? Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Good girl. Yeah. Right. Come on. There you go. Good girl, Red. Come on. That's a good girl. Red, heel. Good. Heel. Heel. Good girl. Come on, Red. Let's go. Woo, come on. Come on, Red. Come on. Not yet. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good girl. Come on. Let's go. Girl. That's a good girl, Ray. That's a good girl. Yeah, come on. That's a good girl. Yeah. That's a good girl. Yeah. Yeah. Good girl, Ray. Good girl. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl, yeah. That's a good girl. A big important thing when we're teaching obedience. A lot of people, they want to do a lot of repetitions. They're very eager to do the obedience, reward the dog, give the dog a treat, let the dog do their thing for a second, 2 seconds, then they jump right back to the obedience. I always tell people the reward should almost always outweigh the obedience. If I have her healing for 30 seconds, I should aim to play with her for about a minute, right? I always want that reward to outweigh that time and effort it takes for the dog to do the obedience, whether that's a higher value reward for the dog or I extend the reward duration for that reward activity. I could make that longer. I could make that last 10 minutes. If I have the dog do one obedience command and start playing ball with the dog. Now, one thing to keep in mind, it is a hot day out. She's getting tired. We try to do multiple sessions like this throughout the day, ideally early morning, late night when the dog's most active. We'll probably do one more repetition of the heel command before going into place. Good, heel. Good girl. Heel. Good. Let's go, heel. Super, good girl. As I'm walking, as she's in that position, if she's in a good spot, good girl. I can encourage her. If she gets too far ahead, I just use that leash to guide her back in that position I want her in. Good girl, heel. Good girl. That's a good girl. Again, this leash should be loose. There's no tension in that leash. I stop. She doesn't stop. I use the leash to guide her where I want her. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Break. Good girl. That's a good girl. Good girl already. Come on. Let's go. You might be too tired. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Good girl. Good girl, Red. Woohoo! Let's go. Come on, Red. Good girl, Red. Come on. Like I said, we're probably gotta go into teaching the place command now. She's getting tired. It's a hot day out. Ideally, I like to teach the place command when the dog is tired near the end of a training session, because I want to attach an emotional state of mind to the place command. Usually the place command is utilized in the home when we want the dog to chill out, relax. Maybe we're watching a movie late at night. We just want the dog to go on the placemat while we're enjoying that movie. So I want to condition the dog a certain emotional state to the obedience command. So I like to do my obedience session, and then I like to, when the dog's tired in that mental state where they want to just lay down, they don't want to do a whole lot, I then do the place command. I'm setting up my training sessions for the highest likelihood of success when I'm training the dog. So if you're smart with your training, training can actually be easy. Most people, they take the dog straight out of the kennel early morning. The dog's super hyper active, wants to go, go, go. and they try to teach the dog place. You're just working an uphill battle at this point. Try to, when you want the dog active, that's when you want to do your active obedience, your heel, your recall, your play. When you're trying to teach more passive obedience, like the place command, you want the dog tired. We save that for the last bit of the session. Ready, place. Give her that command. She goes up there. She's a little familiar with it, right? She hasn't known all the rules just yet. She'll hop up there. She does like it up there, which is good. Some dogs, they don't like getting up there at first. At this point, is really just about teaching the dog what they're allowed or not allowed to do, right? She might try to get off the place, and I'm just gonna give her my non-reward marker. I'm gonna tell her nope, and I'm gonna use the leash to guide her back off. I don't care what she's doing up on place. She could do anything up here, so long as she is staying in this position. If she gets off, I reset her. The only time she's allowed off is when I give that release word in the training to let her go. Good. Girl. Great. Good girl. That's a good girl. Yeah. Like I said, she's a little tired now, so I'm not going to have her chasing around the toy. And I also don't really want to pair that excited, emotional state with her, so I'm going to release her, walk around with her, pet her. Good girl. Great. What you doing? Maybe let her sniff, explore, right? This is a reward to the dog. Letting her explore, letting her have that freedom, that break from the obedience command. This is the dog's reward. This is what she really wants. She wants time to just go do what she wants to do. That's why I'm a firm believer using a flexi leash. Your reward should be what the dog wants, not what you want to give to the dog. So if she wants to go sniff the roses over there, let her sniff the roses. If she wants to go, we had a couple other dogs out here earlier. She wants to sniff the other dog's scent, let her do that, right? That can be her reward. It doesn't always have to be letting the dog play. Ideally, that's what I like to do, but it doesn't always have to be that high intensity activity with the dog. It could just be freedom to go say hi to someone, sniff someone, interact with someone, another dog, whatever the case may be. Red, place. Gonna give that cue, then guide her up. Good girl, nope. Place. Good. Nope. Place. Just like that, if she makes a mistake, I'm just simply here to guide her and put her back. I can increase my distance, make it a little bit more challenging. I can get further away. Nope. Place. As long as all four paws are on that place mat, that's what I'm looking for. Second the paw comes off, I'm gonna give that verbal non-reward marker, reset her, put her back. Good girl, Red. Good girl, you thought about it. That's a good girl. This right here, you saw that where she thought about getting off, but she didn't. Red, break. Good girl. That is a very, very good sign in your training. That's how we know the dog's brain is working, it's thinking. The dog is actively trying to figure out what they're supposed to do. When the dog catches themselves, I really like to see that in the dog. I like to see the dog actively about to make a mistake, but then they're like, wait a minute, this isn't gonna work. And then they go back to doing the correct behavior. That's a beautiful thing to see when we're training a dog. Red, place. Good girl, that's a good girl. Common mistake I see a lot of people do with their dogs. They give the obedience command and they also at the same time use the leash or whatever they're doing to help guide the dog onto the placemat. If you notice, I said the command and I gave her a second to do the right behavior. We want to give the dog the choice, the opportunity to make that decision on their own. We don't want to have to constantly be guiding the dog. The whole point, nope, place. Good girl, is for us to teach the dog to do the behavior on the verbal cue and the verbal cue alone, right? The fastest way to fade that out is to give the verbal cue, give the dog a second to do it, and if they don't do it, then we can step in and we can guide the dog. Red, break, good girl, yeah, that's a good girls, yes, good girl, Red, come on, let's go. Don't tangle me up. Come on, Red. What you doing, huh? What you doing? Good girl. That's a good girl. Yeah. Good girl, Red. Ready? One more rep. One more rep. We'll give you a break. Huh? That's a good girl. Yeah. Red, place. Place. Good girl. All the way. Good girl. Yeah. That's a good girl, Red. Good girl. Now, in the beginning, when we're teaching place, we really are mainly focusing on getting her onto the position. Later on, we can focus on building duration. Ideally, the end state, we want the dog to go onto place. We want them to lay down, we want them to relax. That's why we usually do the place at the end of a training session or during the time of day, where the dog is gonna take a lot of naps. We wanna time our training sessions accordingly to maximize the results we're looking for with the dog. This is something, if I kept her on place for a long enough time, she'll eventually settle down, lay down, she'll probably fall asleep on the placemat. Girl. And that's just a matter of keeping the dog in that position where she realizes, hey, got no other place to go. But we're gonna wrap this up because I wanna give her some water to drink, and I also wanna sit down with her over there and just take some time with her. This is actually a very important time in the training session. A lot of people leave out, and I'll talk a little bit more about that over there. Red, break, good girl. Good girl, Red. So this right here, after a training session, I always recommend that people take a minute or two when they're done in the training. And even if you're doing a really long training session, let's say you got a really hyperactive dog that they can just go all day, and you're doing a training session that lasts maybe 45 minutes long, you can do this throughout that training session 2 or 3 times. And all you're doing is you're taking a pause from the actual training itself, from the learning, and you're just sitting down with the dog. The dog's not in an obedience position of down. They're not on place, right? The dog is free to do what they want. Ideally, you want to just, invite the dog into your space, have the dog come over, pet the dog, show the dog some love, let the dog kind of soak this moment in, right? This is very crucial to the learning process. Like I said, when we're training a dog, it's very important to set the dog up for success in the beginning of the training session by playing with them, right? Opening up that brain, getting them into that learning mental state where they can actually take in this information, but then also kind of having a cool down with the dog, where once the dog has done some learning, they've done some repetitions, we can just sit down, relax with the dog, and enjoy the dog's company, right? This is very crucial. Just like if you're going to the gym and you're exercising your body, you're trying to work out, the first thing you should do is you should warm up. You should really get those muscles moving, get that blood pumping. That way you prevent any kind of injury. Likewise, at the end of doing a gym session, you should probably stretch, maximize those the muscle growth by stretching and again preventing injury later on. We're doing the same thing, but we're doing it with the dog's brain. We're doing it with their emotional state, and we're setting up the training scenario both before and after, as well as during the training scenario. Everything we do, if you do it right, you're setting it up for success, right? Like I said, usually we want to practice place at the end of a training session. We don't really want to do it at the beginning when the dog's hyperactive. If the dog's hyperactive in the beginning, we want to use all that energy, and we want to use that for some obedience commands like the heel, where we're actively moving with the dog and we want the dog to be moving with us. So that's something that a lot of people, they don't take into account, yet it's very important when it comes to training. So next couple days, we'll just be continuing to do this. Up until now, like I said, we've been doing a lot of play with her, getting her to actually play. If you watch the original video The first day we started with her, she had no interest. I think we spent almost 2 hours that first day, and she showed no interest playing with us, the toy, whatsoever. So we've spent a lot of time, we've invested a lot of time to get her to that point. Our next video that we're gonna do with her, we're gonna, again, continue to work on the heel, continue to work on place. We will probably do a little bit of down, a little bit of sit. We've been doing recall on the walks, so we might do a little bit more recall stuff. And then we'll also have a video of her doing doorway manners, right? We like to, before we move on to another training thing or another exercise obedience command, we want to make sure the dog understands the obedience command that we last worked on, rather than trying to teach all these different obedience commands and behaviors simultaneously. There's a reason for that. If we try to teach the dog every single obedience command starting day one, the dog is going to be very confused, right? They're learning something new, it's stressful. We focus on teaching one obedience command to the dog until the dog feels confident in that obedience command. The reason why is when the dog feels confident in doing a certain behavior with us in that obedience command, once we start to teach a new obedience command, the dog is gonna feel a little shaken up. They're gonna feel a little less confident because they're learning something new and they don't know it. So to maybe bring the dog back up in their confidence levels, we can then use the obedience command that the dog knows really well, boost the dog's confidence in that training session, then go back to teaching the new obedience command that we're working on. So by doing this, if you're really having a bad training session, you're trying to teach something to the dog and the dog's just not getting it, you can salvage that training session by going back to the commands and the obedience the dog already knows. But if you're trying to teach it all at once, you have nothing to fall back on. You have nothing that you can do to kind of bring the dog out of that state. So it's very important that we're strategically planning these training sessions and our overall obedience. Come on, Red. Come here. But that's going to be it for today's video. Our next video, like I said, we're going to show some more stuff with her working. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of sessions that we don't record, but we're going to try to record, you know, everything that she's learned or learning. And then we'll do some stuff where we're combining all of the pieces together, right? Right now, individual pieces. Once we combine it all, we'll probably do a couple videos of her out in public doing some of the obedience and sores and things of that nature. But that's all for now. Come on, Red.